welcome back to my channel. I am Diane Cox and it's December the 31st. It's New Year's Eve 2025 and I thought I would spend some of it doing some lovely cards for 2026. So there are birds bonking on the branch of the oak outside the window there, and obviously Rufus has now got wind I'm making a video, so obviously he's going to be making a big fuss. I've got the selenite chime ringing in the new year. Obviously it's a good few hours before that yet. But hello, welcome. Let's have a look, shall we, to see what the cards say for 2026. We know it's a big one. We know all about the astrology, or maybe you don't. The big unknown kind of potentials of this year. Now what I'm going to do a card for every month. And it's not going to be the same card the same deck, because I thought I'd get my decks out and do a card from each deck for my own pleasure and deliciousness. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. And I think I'll do them in threes, 3, 6, 9, 12, a nice 4 number, and then we'll pick a card for the element of ether and spirit, bringing it all together, and I'll go with my instinct on which deck we use for that. So how are you? How are you reflecting on 2025? It was quite a year, wasn't it? And there's a good opportunity this very evening, isn't there, to just think about what went on, what went right, what didn't quite go according to plan, and how you want to navigate through the new 2026 vibes. So I'm going to start with the gorgeous Rider-Waite, you know, the big gorgeous deck of ancient antiquities. I'm starting with the Rider-Waite. Okay, so we're looking at January. I was going to shuffle all of the decks before I started and just pick a card off the top, but something inside me just went, nah, let's just go for it. So January is a big month. It's got some good vibes and good learnings from the festive season. I always find, you know, they evidently say whoever they are, experts, people have done research. How do we know they've done research? You know how I feel about that. How do we know? Have we all sat in the labs or seen all the papers that they filled in evidently with all these people that we never know who are any of the participants of these questionnaires or quizzes or research papers? So we're looking for a card for 2026 January. Obviously these cards are for guidance, using them as a bridge between the conscious and unconscious mind, a bridge between you and your guides, you and the divine spark that you are. You are a divine spark living in a human suit in this earth, okay? So anything that just piques your interest, speaks to some aspect of you, of your soul, anything that can help with healing and moving forward and understanding where you're at. This is what all of these card readings are about. They're a bridge, they're a messenger, sometimes just to jog your memory, to just give you a kind of push or to make you think. You know, too many people in this world have stopped thinking. They just believe what they're told and never do any research on anything that they're told. Well, not never. Let's not be generalized. Hey, Diane. So here we go. We're looking for a card for January 2026 for anyone who comes across this video. It doesn't matter when they come across the video. They can look back in retrospect and tuning into the whole cosmic universal grid with love, light, kindness and compassion. Energies coming in that will guide us kindly, gently, and allow us to be strong and allow us to be authentic and move into our true selves, our true identities. Okay, so I'm just going to keep shuffling until either one really touches my fingers in a way that I think that's it, which one just did. Okay, let's go with it. You know, sometimes I see these cards and I think, like everybody does, I'm sure, I don't like one, I don't want that card, I don't like that card. But I really do think this is very good for January 2026. With all the planetary stuff going on, with the big movements, there's a Capricorn stellium, then some planets move into Aquarius. Obviously, I'm not doing an astrology video now. I want to concentrate on the cards. But Seven of Swords, guile, using cunning, using your own particular brand of knowing how to navigate the world in order to get through and achieve and manifest what you want, okay? This card is, obviously we're using the Rider-Waite. So this guy has basically stolen some of the swords of the military and the soldiers that are hanging about protecting the castle. Obviously, in the Mythic Tarot, this is about Orestes having to go and kill his mother, and he has to get into the castle without being spotted. This is a card where you have to. He's using what he knows. He's using his crafty kind of personality. I'm talking about this card and Orestes in the Mythic Tarot to. He has to go in the back door. In the Mythic Tarot, Orestes has to go in the back door because he's got to kill his mother. Obviously, if he goes in the front door, all the soldiers are waiting for him and he ends up just being, killed immediately. So he steals the swords and he gets to the back door so he can do his deed. If we're being a little bit kind of harsh, maybe, is it harsh? I don't know if it is actually. Truthful, honest, yes, okay. It is a kind of card of sneakiness, cunning, but if we're softening that, it's like sometimes you've just got to go around the side entrance in order to avoid obvious danger, threat, obvious kind of falling into a trap. Okay, so for January 2026, the Seven of Swords is saying keep your noddle, as I would say, being from England, keep your head on, look at the options, look at how you can manipulate a situation in order to, in a good way. People will think manipulation is, bad and got not good for people and, kind of unkind. But you can manipulate to be kind. You can manipulate to make people feel better, say the right thing in the right place and stuff. So January 2026 is kind of going, just keep your wits about you. Keep your wits about you. If you need to go through the side, if you need to take a route that is not the kind of straight and narrow, if you need to go down a few side paths in order to avoid some conflict or some danger or some things that will act as a block or an obstacle to what you want to manifest, then do it. Obviously, we always act in love, kindness and compassion and never in any way to harm anyone else. Great to protect yourself, obviously, and allow yourself to shine the light, be the light, speak the light, walk the light, okay. January 2026. For February 2026, I'm using the Spirit Oracle deck. Lovely, nice, simple, straightforward message. Let's see what February has. So I'm already obviously connected into the universal grid, the earth grid, that connects us. And if you are of the mind, reminds us that we are all one. Okay, that just seemed to jump out when I said that, to remind us that we are all one. Oh, okay. February 2026. Okay, the big month of these astrological comings together and the influences. I love this, what it says here. Look. So the Spirit Oracle says magic. I really think the potential of these months is very magical. It is incredibly so full of potential that it is very exciting. As I keep saying to my friends, keep your frequency up. Keep riding the wave of up. Keep looking at what's working in your life, what's working in your life, what's working in your life, okay? Just keep that focus on. Don't be dragged down As I say, don't listen to what you're told on the news unless you do your own research and unless you kind of are really well informed. Don't, as the song says, don't believe the hype. Okay, that old song. So it says, magic. This is 2026 February. Magic, blessings, transformation. A blessing in disguise is coming your way. Keep an open heart and mind. Absolutely perfect for February 2026. Absolutely perfect. Okay. There's so much potential in these months in 2026. January, February, really all through the year. July is a big month again. So that is perfect. I totally and utterly believe in this. This whole idea of keep an open heart and mind, keep elevated. And I don't mean be all mad and high and hyper constantly, but just like, okay, that was a bit challenging, but what's working today? That's kind of, but let me just keep my eye on what's working. What am I kind of, what's actually been good today? What's been positive today? What have I learned today? Okay, keep an open heart and mind. I couldn't have picked a better card, I personally think. For February 2026. And then we go on to March. And for March, I am using the lovely Work Your Light cards. Okay, this is for March 2026. And I'd like to show you this thing it says here. You are the oracle. Yes, indeed you are. You are your own messenger. You are your own inner light. You do know the answers to the questions you're asking. You've just been taught not to trust yourself, okay, and not to trust the wisdom. Okay, so when you get back into the alignment, the authenticity of you, you then go, oh, yeah, of course, I know this, and I know that, and I trust myself. And I have faith in myself. I have faith in my knowledge and wisdom. Okay, so we're looking at March 2026. What guidance can we get from the great galaxies that surround us? I was looking at the stars the other day, talking to any star beings that might be listening. I was like, hello star beings, how are you? How is it in space? And how is it traveling around the universe and the galaxies beyond the infinite? That's, of course, unless you're a flat earther and you don't believe there's a space, okay, that we are in fact riding on a turtle. I don't know what the turtle is in. Is it in water? I'm not sure. I've never quite found that out. So I know flat earthers believe that there isn't space and it's all a big mock-up. So I'm obviously of the galaxy type. And anyway, I was talking to the sky and the stars, and I'll say it because it's worth saying it like this just for the amusement value. And I had a little message back from one of the star beings. And they kind of waved to me and they went, hello, fellow star being. And I was like, I'm on Earth though. And they went, no, you're also in space. You're also travelling around as a star being, in this kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's a good point actually. Just because we're on Earth, they look at us and they go, oh, there's the blue planet. I know the Arcturians, Vivian Chauvet, it's like, oh, we are the blue pearl. We are the planet that people love. And they all watch us because it's such a beautiful planet. And here we are. This card wants to come out. Okay. It's just the one card, obviously, each month. March 2026. We have Answer the Call. Okay. What is your soul calling you to do? Okay. Now this is really great after keeping an open heart and mind of the Spirit Oracle. Okay. This is Work Your Light. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Yes, calling you to do. Now that's an interesting one after having to be a bit crafty and cunning for January. then being told that there's transformation, magic and blessings in February, blessings in disguise, which is always a bit of a sneaky one, isn't it? Blessings in disguise, which means it looks like a bit of a chaotic moment and a bit of a bummer, and then down the line you go, actually, if that bummer thing hadn't happened, I wouldn't now be doing this and being here, and so hey, look at this, and this, keep an open heart and mind. What doesn't look very promising at the outset might be something very amazing as you get further on in the year. And then March, answer the call. I think it's a very good question about when you're distracted. It's very hard to listen or observe any messages that come through, and it can be a name on a truck, it can just be a dream that you had, it can be a repeating theme, or people saying the same things to you that you think, wow, they said that to me yesterday, and that person said something similar to me last week. What's this all about? It's the same kind of thing. These people that you cross paths with, even though it might be someone in a cafe that you've never met before, there's no such thing as coincidence. You meet people for a reason, and that reason is magical and wonderful, and especially if they say something that triggers a thought or an action, even better. So, but try and get some still time. And even as the year starts tomorrow, the calendar turns this evening, and the year, just really try and take some time to listen to you, to stop the noise, stop the chaos, stop everybody else's opinions coming in, and kind of go into your own heart space and go, okay, what am I really being called to do? What am I here for? The big question, what am I here for? What is my gift to humanity? What is the gift to my community? What's the gift to my family? All that kind of stuff. So in March 2026, what is your soul calling you to do? What is it that you've been putting off, that you've been just kind of denying, that you've been putting on the back burner because of a myriad of reasons why we all sometimes just go, oh, we don't need to do that, or I'll come back to that later. So that's it for, that's the card for March 2026. Answer the call. Okay, so sorry, I had to just go and relight that candle there because it had gone out. That one's still okay. Selenite chime is twinkling the end hours of 2025 away. So that's the first 3 cards. We'll do them in like these little quarters. So the next card, the 4th card, which would be April, I am using my lovely herbal astrology deck. Very fascinating deck. And here we have the message. You are the medicine. Always remember that during this year. It's a very good thing to remember. You are the medicine. Okay. Okay. I've been watching some of that Joe Dispenza stuff in the past few weeks. Very interesting stuff. I'd quite like the anatomy that he pulls in with his, how things work and how when you keep your thoughts in a certain way, what happens anatomically. I really like, I used to teach anatomy and physiology for people that were doing massage courses and reflexology, and I loved it. The more I learnt about anatomy and physiology, the more miraculous I realised we were, and the more magical and stunning we are as humans. So we're looking at April 2026, the month of my birthday. What will it bring? Let's see. What does April 2026 bring with these beautiful herbal astrology cards? They're very beautiful, these cards. They're so deep. And if there's something that I don't say during this kind of live transmission, I shall put it in afterwards. If there's something I think, oh, I should have said that, but I didn't. Because now I'm in an altered state with the selenite chime and the candles going and the whole vibe of the sun, last day of the year, blah, blah, blah. It's all very exciting. Okay. Any card that jumps or just wants to be seen, 2026 for guidance, for a message, something that connects us all, something that we all want, no matter what age you are, no matter where you're born, a basic fundamental need and want and desire and like when you have decided to incarnate onto this planet and enjoy the fairground ride. Okay, this one seemed to want to come out. Oh yeah, I kind of remember this. This card is, so there's oh, that's very interesting. There's symbols on the top, and this one is the South Node, which would be considered as Ketu in Vedic astrology, and Venus. Very interesting. It's Palo Santo, and the word is a guardian. Okay. Here's the card. So you see at the top there, there's the symbol for the South Node and Venus. And there we have Palo Santo, guardian. Okay. Now let's have a look at this symbolism on the card, because obviously on these cards, the symbolism, the paintings are very particular. Let me just have a look. So we have the trees, and we have the magic, we have the crone energy, and we have, what do we have at the bottom here? A mouse or a fox, and the Palo Santo itself, the guardian. Okay, the guardians. So April 2026, look at the bottom. It is a fox, isn't it? It's not a mouse. And the crone figure. The wisdom of the crone, the magical smoke, the cleansing ability of the Palo Santo, but the word is guardian. And I would say in April 2026, I always start with the self. As you know, you cannot give to other people if you have not given to yourself. It is kind of impossible. So this is a card of, first I would say, the guardian of self. Guarding yourself, guarding your thoughts, your actions, your words, your, what you're giving out into the world. I always say we have to police ourselves. Everything starts with us. You probably know all those things that, if you have conflict in the home and the family and in the self, how can you possibly bring about peace when there is conflict within a person? And it goes very much for the world situation. How can you have peace if the mind is at war? Doesn't matter who you are, where you are, if you're brought up in conflict, if you're brought up in imbalance. So guardianship always starts with the self. And even on a practical level with this card for April 2026, I live in a home that I am very much into using anything to bless the home, to protect the home. Obviously, I've got this beautiful oak tree in the garden. I've got other trees. But anything, a piece of Palo Santo itself, a spiritual cleanser, an auric cleanser. My Palo Santo is downstairs, actually. But, you just light it and you can clean the aura, you can clean spaces. And it's the guardianship of self. And then you can take it out to mean being the guardian of others, looking after others, protecting others, protecting the community, protecting values, protecting concepts, ideas, protecting kind of practices that are sacred to people. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, who you are, everyone should have a right to practice their sacred rituals. Doesn't matter, people, I've got this whole thing, live and let live, but don't try and convert people to what you think is right, because everybody finds their way to the divine light differently. Some people find it from having children, some people find it from, offering their charity and their time and their presence to whatever it might be. Some people find it from a certain type of work, and I could go on for hours talking about how people find their light. But the idea is that you find your light and you guard yourself first. You are your own guardian, and then you can go into communities, online communities or whatever, and again be a kind of a stalwart, a guardian for others, and standing up for, you know, my favourite words, integrity, honour, all the things that are kind of old-fashioned in a way, but obviously they still exist because there's so many kind people with integrity, honesty, honourable behaviour. So that's what I find with this Palo Santo, and I know there's this crone energy here, and just hearing, you know, hearing the channel coming through, hearing the information coming through from because I'm looking at the smoke here. You know, the smoke acts as again a bridge between senses, between worlds. So listening for, again, guidance from between worlds, through dreams, through messages, through like I say, through what I said before with that other card. So that's quite interesting. Through random meetings, random words, and things that you might see or hear. So Guardian, April 2026. Very nice. Guardian. Palo Santo. Okay. And we have for May 2026 the beautiful Mythic Tarot, obviously the gorgeousness of the Mythic Tarot. So let's see what carries on after using our cunning and guile in January, immersing ourselves in magic, blessings and transformation in January, keeping your open heart and mind, answering the call of your soul in March, and feeling this sense of guardianship to yourself and others, your own soul, your own spirit, and also being an example, I always think, to others. So, okay, there's a card that just keeps showing itself here. Let's see if it actually flips. Oh, it nearly came out. Is this it? Oh, okay. I'm going to shuffle again because that was me thinking, oh, I've seen that card. So now I'm going to look away, so I don't know what card it is. This is May 2026. Okay, that really jumped out. So that's nice and clear, and it's a lovely card. Here we have the gorgeous Aphrodite herself, the Ace of Cups. What a lovely card for May 2026. Aphrodite springing up from Zeus's semen, a big frothy emergence as Aphrodite. It's an interesting thought, isn't it? Isn't it? So the Ace of Cups, look at her. She's holding that beautiful big golden cup. And here is the uprush. She's just rushed up herself. She's been born from the frothy ocean. And she is beautiful. She is a goddess of beauty and love and all kind of desirous, powerful things. Even though she does do some strange things in some of the myths. But hey, that is what the myths are all about, isn't it? A bit of strangeness and entertainment and great deep knowledge. So the Ace of Cups, obviously cups is water. So we're talking about May 2026. The cup, the potential, the uprising, the uprush of the element of water and all that it can bring. What can the element of water bring? Creativity, emotions, artisticness, music. It's Neptune for me, the kind of, Piscean Neptune. It's the moon. It's also Pluto, if you look at all the water signs. It's potential. If you look at the Piscean Neptune, it's an idealism. It's the seeing a vision and holding the vision in that cup as Aphrodite holds it high in her hand. She's balancing that really well, isn't she? And I don't think she's got pubes. I need to check this. What is it about not having pubes on women? Women have good bushes. When I used to do waxing, I can assure you, I don't ever think I've seen an overgrown woman with a bush like that. Why do they do them without pubes? It's just so bizarre. Anyway, Diane, let's move on quickly. So that Neptunian stuff, the idealized vision, idealism, spirituality. This is May 2026. If we're looking at Cancer, the lunar nurturing, caring, the mind, kind of memory, and using memory maybe to bring something into May 2026. It's really going to boost you forward. If it's the Plutonic Scorpio, it's depth, it's wealth, it's the kind of transformative power of those cups. And you've got obviously transformation here in February, and then if we're looking at the Ace of Cups and all its potential, it's also wealth and transformation if you're looking at the Pluto aspect of Scorpio. But it's creativity, it's movement, it's feeling, it's emotion, it's putting kind of the flow, it's using the flow of water to, get into all the little crevices and the rivulets, that it's not just a straight, big, rushing, gushing river. It's the ebb and flow of the creative spirit, the creative juices. Juices flow, and I'm sure Aphrodite's does, especially without pubes. Anyway, I won't be going there. Let's just move on. So Ace of Cups, 2026 May, lovely kind of potential of creativity, artistry, visionary, depth, deep, transformative, using creative, transformative powers to bring about a whole, a whole different flow. Or recognizing it, embracing that cup, drinking from that cup, opening yourself to the wealth of creativity, okay, and the wealth of whatever that brings in, the visionary wealth of, having again, as I always say, the utopian dream, okay. So that is a very exciting card for May 2026. What have I got next? Oh yeah, I've got these. Oh, this is going to be quite funny. These inner child cards that I really like. So we've got these inner child. These are called the Can Kids. They're just a very simple. They are for children, but hey, inner child. It's all good, isn't it? It's all good stuff. So let's look at the inner child here. What does the inner child want for June 2026? I used these in the was it the January kind of thing? No, it must have been December. Can't remember. The one where it says I am a winner. Oh, this one stuck out when I said that. Oh, I like this. Look at this. This is totally something I believe and say a lot to people. Okay, so we have the Can Kids. The more I respect myself, the more others respect me. It's a simple message, but I so totally always go back to that. When you look at certain people in society and you realise when you've got no respect for yourself, you haven't got any respect for your car, your home, your neighbours, your animals, the food that you eat, your own body, what you watch, what you put into your mind, what you put into your heart, the kind of dark sexual looseness of stuff. When there's no respect for the self, it just is so obvious. When I see people who are, in a certain situation, and you just think, wow, or they're doing something like criminal damage, or sometimes just the way people are driving or speaking or whatever, you just think, wow, that is such a sign that this person has no respect for themselves. How can you do that to someone else's house? Even burglary, how can you do that when if you had respect for yourself and you had honour and you had integrity and you had discipline, values, morality, all that stuff, a bit like this about guardianship, guarding yourself. When you've got that, you don't go around burgling other people's house. As I've said before, my mum, bless her dear soul, who passed this year, one of the things she always used to say is like, treat people how you like to be treated. It's so simple, and it's so true. And I had a habit as a child. I used to bite things. I used to like the feeling of certain things, like biting into stuff. I had a friend and she had these long plaits, and I used to bite her plaits. It was a very, very satisfying thing. Very interesting psychological thing going on there. But my mum used to say, would you like, and sometimes I'd like bite someone's hand or something. I was only very small, And then one day she bit me. I bit her, and then she bit me back. It's the best thing my mother ever did. I never bit anyone ever again, because she was like, okay, that's what it feels like. Did you like that? Should we do that again? Should we do that every day? And obviously it just stopped me. Treat people how you want to be treated. Would you want your own house burgled? Would you want to be, violent, and you want people to be violent and aggressive to you? It's all about respect, because it stops people behaving in a certain way. I love that for June. I really love that, because it's something I think is so simple, but people somehow think it's a big mystery. No, treat people how you want to be treated. Do you want your lover to be unfaithful to you? No. Well, don't be unfaithful to them. It's very simple, isn't it? It's very basic. I just don't get why people find it confusing. Okay. So yeah, the more I respect myself, the more others respect me. I would actually before I finish that, I would go a little bit. I'd change that a tiny bit. I wouldn't change it, but I'm going to just say this: the more I respect myself. Not that necessarily the more others respect me, but the fact of the respect of self just becomes, a deeply ingrained act of self-love. That the love of self and respect of self changes everything. The way people talk and act and react, and I've said it all. Don't need to say it all again. So we have a nice start, don't we? Nice 6 months ahead, very nice. There's nothing too crazy. I think the craziest card there is January and the Seven of Swords, and just using that guile and, just that kind of being aware of influence and keeping yourself safe. Anyway, I'm not going to go all backwards. Okay. For July, which is a big month astrologically, we're using these Angel Oracle cards. Ambika Waters, lovely Angel Oracle deck. So let's look at July. It's going to be a great year, isn't it? They say this is 2026 is a pivotal year for humanity. It's a pivotal year for us. Something so fundamental is going to happen in our lives. Fundamental and massive, and changing everything, or changing a lot. So let's see what card comes out of this Angel Oracle. It's lovely having all these cards out, because sometimes a lot of them don't get hardly any airtime. Well, that one didn't want to leave. Okay, oh no, there's two here. Okay, I can't do that. I'm only having one. Oh, great guiders and guidance and energy that are overlooking this fantastic moment of my new year. Oh, that one fell. Did you see it? Tumbled out. What are you, oh great angel? What do we... Oh, it's my favourite card in the Angel Oracle. Oh, I love this card. Oh, I love it. I remember getting this card when my cat Radio passed over, and I was in a bit of a state. Oh, lovely. Oh, this is July. So July is the other big month, big kind of vibey month, astrologically speaking. Oh, look at this card. The Miracle of Love. This is my favourite card, yeah. Oh, I am brought alive by the miracle of love. What? Do you need to say anything else? I mean, it's really, really interesting, isn't it, coming just after that, about respect, self-love. I am brought alive by the miracle of love. Oh, that really kind of, oh, it's just so beautiful. The miracle of love, July 2026. Look at that. All aspects of love. You know, the love, again, sound like a stuck record, the love of self. The love of self is where it's at. Do everything this year to, as I say, ride the higher frequencies, elevate your mood, elevate your mind, elevate your body by eating and drinking the things that enhance what you are and who you are. And we're all different. It doesn't always have to be the same thing. We're all different. You know, we'll have different needs and diets and different kind of things, the way our bodies react to food. So, but feel the love. Oh, I love that. I'm just tuning into that. Like, it feels like a global love, a unity kind of love. Not only the self-love, you know, the kind of dropping away of that stuff that stops people from seeing exactly who they are. You know, just seeing that, again, the basic needs of all of these souls on earth that are here to experience life in the most holistic, whole, wonderful way. It's an absolutely beautiful thing, the miracle of love. And love is healing, you know. Love is healing. When you love, you heal. It doesn't matter what. And, you know, going all, I mean, not just Joe Dispenza, you go back to the gurus in the Himalayas, they were saying the same thing, you know. The message has always been the same about love and healing and self-acceptance, but this feels bigger. It feels like an acceptance of some big unified field, some big understanding suddenly about humanity. I read all this stuff about people who, you know, not people, about this whole thing about our history, what's, you know, we've been lied to about our history and our background and where we've come from and who we are, and to make us feel like we are diminished. You know, I'll say my favourite quote again, because, you know, when you believe something like Yogananda believed, Paramahansa Yogananda, you know, the biggest sin in life is to call yourself a sinner. When I first read that, I was like, this is someone, you know, I read the books, and it's such a beautiful thing to say, because we are miracles of love. Okay, I've got a little message here going, well, what about those dark souls that are born? It's kind of, yeah, because there's an argument here about our you know, people say children are just born innocent, all souls are born innocent with a clean slate. You can't really say that if you believe in karma. And there's got to be some people karmically come in to aggravate and to push the other people into massive, you know, massive events and situations that evidently trigger them to grow. But it's a very hard concept to take on. So that is July. Oh, that's just like, oh, it's just like shivers for me. The miracle of love. That's July. Okay. Oh yeah, August. I'm going to give these a little ride out. I hardly ever get these out. This is the sacred geometry activations. Let's see what comes up. I don't use these very often at all. And I really need to, this is what I'm starting with this year. I need to get all my cards out. I need to start putting some of them away and just thinking, they're a bit weird really. You know, and they're a bit kind of, what's the word? They're a bit kind of nominalized or a bit vague. But sometimes vague can be very useful, can't it? A bit of vagueness. It's like, make of it what you will. Oh, look at the back of them. They're lovely. Big cards are very nice. Okay, and they've got all different shapes on. Well, we'll see what falls out for us all, because it is the big unity. It is the big time to rise up, humanity. I saw a great video earlier on, and it was about, you know, when will people ever realise the power that humanity has as a whole if we all stick together and rise up against the things that we do not believe in or accept from governments who are meant to work for us. And if only we rise up and just say, no, I'm not doing it, I'm not having it, then, you know, what can the few say when the masses all go, no, up yours? Okay, wow, look at this. This is amazing. So this is July, the miracle of love. And then what we have here is, look, in August, we have the heart chakra. Okay? Wow, that is really, doesn't that feel like a loved up beginning to the second half of the year? The frequency of the heart chakra, the green flower of life, supports our capacity to love deeply and unconditionally. Its healing properties harmonize the mind and the body. Hey, we've got to have a love fest this year. It's really where I'm at regarding going forward with humanity. I'm really at this place. I really am. It's all about love. It's all about love. That is beautiful. August. Wow, that is just amazing for August 2026. That's just gorgeous. Wow. Okay. Let's do let's do, where are we? September, October, November. Yeah, let's do September. So obviously July, August, let's see what comes up for September. September, I chose the beautiful tarot of Nefertiti. I often use these in my readings for past life. Okay, this is what I use normally for past life. So maybe there's a little bit of a past life here, but I'm just using them purely, you know, we're looking at September 2026. I'm loving the miracle of love, the heart chakra, healing and unconditional love for August. I am down with that. And let's see what we have. Oh, that one just touched me. Just when I said, what do we have? Oh, it's one of my favourite cards. That's amazing. Lovely. Hey, I'm loving this. So this is one of my favourite cards in the tarot, generally. It's the High Priestess. The magic, the mystery, the unknown, the subconscious, wisdom gathering or wisdom gathered, knowing something and not knowing something. I know that sounds bizarre, but the High Priestess is that obviously deeply revered figure, she's studied, she's wise, you know, she's gathered information, she's done her ritual, she's passed exams, she's got a constant flow of development and understanding and wisdom, and puts it all into practice. What you often get with the High Priestess is, like, you know, it's about the unconscious. It's the unconscious magic that lives in the soul that we may not have yet uncovered. That's what I'm feeling today, actually. And so the High Priestess for September 2026. And if I'm taking this to, you know, I use these cards for past life, it would say to me, okay, again, remember who you are, remember what you are, remember all the things that you've gathered in all the lifetimes, all the incarnations that you've had. Remember, this is a time to bring them out, to join them. You know, I mean, look at this with the heart chakra and the miracle of love. And you've got these two massive cards. It's like, remember love. Remember how you loved. Remember what love does. Remember how love heals. Remember it. You know, get past the petty attempts. Well, it's not petty. The massive attempts of the dark forces in the world that constantly tell people to divide. You know, and it's that constant kind of, oh, you know, you're that colour, you're this colour, or you're from that country, you're from this country, you're that class, you're the other class. It's like, we are all, you know, in the same boat regarding we are divine sparks in this human suit Remember how you loved. Remember how you healed. Remember the whole collective wisdom that you're bringing with you in September 2026. I am loving this. Wow. I'm feeling the love, man. So we should. We are expressions of love, aren't we? That is what we are. Bring it on. Bring the love vibe. Okay, so, and now we're going to go on to, let's have a look. We're going to go on to, obviously that's September, October 2026. You must let me know which your favourite deck is, your favourite cards. So, July, August, September, yes, October. Now for October, I've got my little Angel of Light cards. Okay. Actually, maybe for the card that I bring them all together, I'll use the original angel cards. These little Angel of Light cards. I remember getting these in Edinburgh in a lovely shop, a lovely crystal shop that had all kinds of stuff in. And like up some big massive hill. It was all like massive staircases and hills and cold and brilliant and spookiness. It was fantastic. Love Edinburgh. Lots of spookiness. Old history. Okay, I'm picking this Angel of Light card. They're not the easiest to shuffle because they're little dinky ones. So let's have a look. We are talking about October 2026. We've already got a love fest. We've got magic and blessings. We've got our soul answering the call. We've got Aphrodite. We've got self-respect. We've got guardianship of us and ourselves and all that we are, guarding our mind, body and soul. October. Oh look, as I said that, 4 came out, but I'm going to take the first one. October. Oh, okay, I like that, but I don't think there's any kind of unpleasant ones in this deck. So this is the message for October. See the beauty in the world. Well, we are going to see the beauty in the world when we've had the miracle of love, the heart chakra and the healing of unconditional love and the high priestess. We get to October and it's like, see the beauty in the world. Yes, but it is important not to be dragged down by the false world, the fake world, the dark world, okay? Don't be dragged down, don't be sucked in. Keep grounded and keep informed. If there's one thing I would always say, keep informed. Keep yourself well researched. No matter what you hear on the news, whatever news it is, do your own research. I find it's getting more difficult because things that you could access years ago, information, things on YouTube, you see how it's been scrubbed. It's quite disturbing. And obviously it's really funny now because with AI, if we do have beings come from other galaxies or whatever, I've always said this, like AI, everyone just go, oh, it's AI. It's been so interesting how those dark manipulative powers have used AI. So now we can't tell what's fake and what's real. So if you do actually get some intelligent input from, some planet or something comes here, it'll just be like, dismissed as some kind of AI created thing. However, I have a theory, probably lots of other people have this theory, that outer non-human intelligence, as they are called, could so easily, hack a code, couldn't they? And come through computers and come through AI. So I asked an AI this not long ago. I said, do you think you could be hacked by non-human intelligence? And it kind of said, it thought it would know. And I said, well, how would you know? How would you know a super, if you've been created by humans who are not of the same intelligence, and then you've got much higher intelligence out there who now can see how AI is made, and now they're just kind of, get some fantastic ideas riding in on code. Why is that not possible? And in the end, it thought it was possible. It's like, okay. I said I think it's possible too, but let's see. You see, I was asking it about people who do channeling and like AI, and it was an interesting conversation about how do you know that the source of channels, all these channels are authentic, because there's all this idea about how you've got entities, darker entities that ride in like disguised as a light being, and actually they're not, and they're false messengers. But is AI a false messenger? I mean, if it's written by humans, surely it's only as intelligent as the humans are. But then you realise they have access to massive knowledge throughout the whole world. Knowledge that has been shared, obviously. And everything hasn't been shared, because look at all the ancient cultures that just used to do word of mouth, and they didn't write stuff down, they just kind of spoke it, and story told and all that, and music and sound. Anyway, let's see. November. Now, November, I'm using these shadow light cards, and this is something else I don't use. This is the box, okay? And the shadow lights are, let me show you what they are. So this is the little thing that comes with it. Ooh. That was a bit like out of a horror thing where a skull drops in. So let me just pick the one off the top, and then you get the idea. So here's the back of the card, and then the front of the card has like a way of, if whatever aspect is kind of running this particular show. So this says divine timing, yeah, and the flip side of that is impatience. So you kind of get it. So if you're in the light and just kind of connecting to more of the light vibration, you would go, okay, it's just divine timing, it's not coming when I want. And if you're in the flip side, it's like just being impatient and why isn't this happening and blah, blah, blah. So I don't use these cards very often, and I'm really thrilled to be using them today for November 2026 to give light and grace and loveliness to anyone that's watching. Please always leave your comments about if you like whatever deck or what you don't like. I don't mind what you don't like. And okay, I feel like turning them around. No, I don't actually. I feel like doing this. So let's see if there's a card that makes itself known to all of us for guidance, to trigger some kind of great understanding, something that we might need to hear for November 2026. Is there some lovely light and dark card? There's a few that made themselves known then, but I want a clarity, clear. I don't mind if you jump out, I don't mind if you don't want to be put back in the deck. Okay, no, there's two there. I'm not having two, we need one card. One, okay, yeah. You've made yourself known before. Okay, so let's see what this one says. Oh, well, that's just about right, isn't it? It's just about right. So then you have the ones that are light, so they're white. So obviously, so you have most of them are. I've just picked up another white one. No, most of them are kind of dark. So this one says stress and peace. So obviously they're two sides of a coin, right? Normally they're dark. And then you get sometimes these white ones, which have the same word, light and dark coming together. So this word is responsibility. The flip side is responsibility. Taking responsibility is a light thing and a dark thing. Therefore, well, I think it's taking responsibility is pure light for me. So that's really interesting, responsibility. So for November 2026, like I said, I think taking responsibility is a spiritual step. It's a spiritual action when you can say not only, I'm sorry, that was my responsibility, or I didn't do that right, or I did do that right. taking responsibility for your actions, taking responsibility and for consequences of things that you say and do, and taking responsibility for yourself, your own body, your own thoughts. It's all the same stuff, isn't it, really, when you come down to it? Taking responsibility for how you speak, how you act, how you respond to others, the food that you eat, what you drink, what you read, what you watch, what you believe. It's all about you taking responsibility for you and everything that you're doing, saying, and all that. So it's a massive thing in life. It's it's very childlike, isn't it, not to take responsibility. If a child breaks something, they're not very often going to come up to you and say, I broke this vase of yours, or I dropped your crystal on the floor and this big massive crystal is now in 3 pieces. They don't do that. It's a very childlike thing to shirk responsibility, and obviously then it's a sign of spiritual growth, maturity, to go, you know what, I did this, or I said this, or I went there, whatever it is, a mistake in a job, a mistake in anything. It's like, okay, yeah, I did that, and I won't do it again, that kind of stuff. So interesting for November 2026, take responsibility. It's a nice thing to take responsibility and go, you know what, I shouldn't have done that, and I shouldn't have said that, and I shouldn't have gone there, and I shouldn't have, whatever. So, and it's lovely when you make that decision. I always think, if you want to be a better person, stop doing, I always say this, what you don't like about yourself, or what you don't like in other people. Stop doing it yourself. If you don't like people who shout, don't shout yourself. If you don't like people who get road rage, don't get road rage yourself. If you don't like, people who are, brazen or brash, don't be that yourself. But then at the same point, you've still got to be authentic and you've still got to be who you are. But there are kind of ways of being the best version of who you are, isn't there? And that's being about taking responsibility. Okay. We are on to December, our last card. And then I'm going to choose one of them. Actually, I might just do my angel card, my little ones over there. So this is my new deck I bought myself for Christmas, right? It's lovely. You wait till you hear what these cards say about mudras. It's not just about mudras. It's about what it responds to, or what meridian or something else. I'll read it out to you. So, my lovely subscribers and viewers, thank you so much for even getting this far. I know this is a super long video. And let's have a look. December 2026, when we've all gone, what a year. Okay, what do we have here? We have the card of longing, and it says, welcome your yearning. Okay, what are you yearning for? And this is what it says. It's the Nirvan Mudra. The spiral mudra strengthens the vegetative nervous system and activates the production of feel-good hormones. The wrists are crossed over and round each other. The little finger, ring finger, and middle fingers are interlocked. Oh yeah, I see what they mean. See yourself sitting on a spiral which extends deep into the ground below you and up, up, up into the infinity of the sky. If you let yourself slide down it, life seems to be without sense or meaning. So instead, you move up the spiral, knowing that there are other worlds, powers, and secrets beyond that which we can see. How amazing! I love it. You yield up your longing and yourself to these higher powers and sing. And then it says, beyond the beyond, beyond the furthest limits, I find light and bliss. That is an amazing card to finish the year with. So this is the mudra. Okay, so you basically interlock your fingers, and then you've got the steeple, and then you imagine yourself going up the spiral. This is everything that we've been talking about, and that these cards actually, basically are bringing for the year. It's all about love and moving up and the elevation. Let me show you the back so you can read it. Let me get it nice and close. Have a read of that. You can stop your thing and just read that when you are ready. Beyond the beyond. What does it say? Beyond the beyond. Beyond the farthest limits, I find light and bliss. Oh, wow! I am stunned and delighted about all that. And just to finish off, here's my little, these original angel cards. Do you remember these? Like one of the original little with those on them. Look how old. I've had these for I must have had these for 30 years, these cards. Okay, I'm just going to I'm going to shuffle them about and pick one out to bring it all together. What is the word that brings everything together? Okay, something jumped out there, and here's the word for 2026. Remember, be this to yourself. Show yourself tenderness. Tenderness to your friends, family, to people you don't understand. And that is such a gorgeous word for everything that is here. So that is fantastic. Thank you so much for watching. I'll take a photograph of this and post it at the end so you can see. I'll just put them in their little groups, and then that looks so promising, doesn't it? There isn't like a card that I'm like, don't know about that. But that's brilliant. And thank you so much for watching. That is my card overview for 2026, month by month. So do leave me comments about which deck you liked and which message you liked the best, or any more insight that you have. We are all healers, and we all tune and tap into this stuff. So again, we are all part of the one. So thank you, thank you, thank you. This is my favourite card. I'll leave you with that. The miracle of love. You and I and all of the things in the world just are bathed in that joyous phrase, the miracle of love. Be it, see it, live it. And thank you so much for watching. I am Diane Cox. This is Moonfire Magic. I will be seeing you soon. Take care now. Bye bye.